Chapter 1. The Unwanted Proposal. The Galactic Senate was in chaos. Ambassadors from a dozen star systems stood in the Grand Hall of the Interstellar Accord, their holographic projections flickering as they argued. At the center of the uproar was Princess Veyra of the Zorathian Dominion, a once great warrior race now on the brink of collapse. Veyra sat in her levitating throne, her 4 arms folded neatly in her lap. Her violet skin shimmered under the chamber's lights, and her 3 golden eyes surveyed the room with quiet dignity. But there was no hiding the truth. Her lower set of arms were withered, useless since birth, a defect that, in Zorathian culture, rendered her unfit to rule. "The Dominion needs a strong heir," growled Ambassador Krell of the Draxian Empire. "Princess Veyra cannot produce one. The treaty demands she marry, but no noble house will bind their bloodline to weakness." Murmurs of agreement spread. One by one, the ambassadors declined, some politely, others with barely concealed disgust. The Korgathians, the Silthari, even the merchant lords of the Vexus Consortium, all refused. Then a human stepped forward. Captain Elias Carter of Earth's United Colonies had been silent until now. He was only here as an observer, a minor delegate from a backwater planet. But when his name was called as a last resort, he didn't hesitate. "I accept." The room fell silent. Chapter 2. A Marriage of Convenience. Elias wasn't a fool. He knew why the others had refused. The Zorathians were brutal conquerors, feared across the galaxy. Their royal bloodline was sacred, and any offspring of Veyra's would be seen as tainted. But Earth needed allies. The colonies were struggling, and the Dominion's military could turn the tide in their favor. The wedding was swift, a cold ceremonial affair. Veyra barely looked at him as they exchanged vows in the ancient Zorathian tongue. That night, in the echoing halls of the royal palace, Elias finally spoke to her alone. "You don't have to pretend with me," he said. "I know this isn't what you wanted." Veyra's golden eyes flickered. "And what do you want, human? Power? Wealth? Survival?" Elias admitted. "Earth's running out of time. But that doesn't mean I'll treat you like they do." For the first time, something like curiosity crossed her face. Chapter 3. The Scorn of the Court. The Zorathian nobles despised Elias. They mocked his lack of claws, his soft human skin, his pathetic 2 arms. Worse, they saw his marriage to Veyra as an insult, a final humiliation for their disgraced princess. But Elias didn't back down. When Lord Zether sneered that Veyra was broken, Elias challenged him to a duel. Unarmed combat was a Zorathian tradition, and Elias knew he'd lose, but he fought anyway. He lasted longer than anyone expected before Zether slammed him into the ground. Bleeding, Elias grinned up at the furious lord. "Still think humans are weak." Veyra watched from the shadows, something stirring in her chest. Chapter 4. The Truth Beneath the Scars. One night, Elias found Veyra in the palace's abandoned training hall. She was struggling to lift a plasma blade with her weaker arms, her face twisted in frustration. "You don't have to prove anything to them," Elias said. Veyra whirled on him. "You don't understand. To my people, strength is everything. I was supposed to be a warrior, queen. Instead, I'm a burden." Elias picked up a second blade. "Then teach me." She blinked. "What?" "If you can't fight the way they do, fight smarter." He tossed her the blade. "Show me how Zorathians battle, and I'll show you how humans adapt." For the first time in her life, Veyra smiled. Chapter 5. The Assassination Attempt. The nobles weren't content with insults. When an assassin slipped into their chambers, Elias barely reacted in time, shoving Veyra aside as a plasma dagger grazed his shoulder. The attacker was a hired blade, but Elias recognized the insignia of House Zethar. Veyra's eyes burned with fury. "They want me dead. And you're just collateral." Elias tightened his grip on the stolen dagger. "Then we fight back." Chapter 6. The Rebellion. The Zorathian dominion was rotting from within. The nobles hoarded resources while their people starved. The military was fractured, loyal only to their warlords. Veyra had spent her life believing she was worthless. But Elias saw what she couldn't: her intelligence, her strategic mind, her unshakable will. Together they rallied the outcasts, disabled warriors, dishonored soldiers, even rival factions who despised the corrupt nobility. When the coup began, it was Veyra who led the charge, not with brute strength, but with precision. And Elias, he fought at her side, not as her protector, but as her equal. Chapter 7. The Coronation. The throne room was silent as Veyra ascended the steps. Her lower arms, once a source of shame, were now clad in armored gauntlets, custom-built to enhance her grip. Elias stood beside her as the new high consort. The nobles who had once sneered now knelt. "You were wrong about me," Veyra said, her voice ringing across the hall. "Strength isn't just in the body. It's in the will to endure. And that is why I will rule." As the crowd cheered, Elias squeezed her hand. For the first time in her life, Veyra knew she was exactly where she belonged.